What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video. And today we're going to be doing a Colts 7-round mock draft. So I already did the Jags and the Texans. I thought I might as well finish up this division. So we're going to have the Colts as well as the Titans today. So if you guys are a fan, either I'm your channel because I'm going to be doing another one for you guys in the off season. Of course, if you like the big mock drafts, I'm also your guy. I love doing it. And if you guys want to contribute, got fan mocks down in the description below. Go to the Discord, talk to me about that because in off season, we will be certainly having that going on. Without further ado, you guys can, of course, join the community and like, comment, subscribe. But let's take a look at the Indianapolis Colts roster before we dive into the mock. So looking at the wide receiver group, it's not great. You know, Pittman, rep Oaks Christian, right? Like OC alum, just he does a great job. But he needs something else there. T.Y. Hilton, I highly doubt that he's going to come back at his age. He's been producing fairly okay for on a Colts standard, not on an NFL standard. Pretty sure there's nobody else beyond 300 yards besides Michael Pittman. Some crazy shit like that. Paris Campbell can't stay healthy, even though I don't mind him. I think he's a solid wide receiver. Just, again, if you're not in the best abilities availability, he's not out there. Mike Strahan, I never got to be able to pronounce the guy's name right in the first place. I'm pretty sure he's not a terrible depth guy. I love Desmond Patton. He's one of my dudes. He's come up clutch one time this year. But again, you got Zach Pascal here as well on a 1-year contract. You don't have much. Wide receiver is a heavy focus for me this draft. Also in the free agency. And always remember, guys, if somebody doesn't get drafted, I'm not going to reach just to fill a need. I'm going to get the best player available. And hopefully it's also at a position of need. Like, I'm not going to draft a quarterback for Christ's sakes. Okay. I'm going to try to find somebody who's worth the pick. I'm not going to do a crazy reach, like get Justin Ross in the second, right? Just to get a wide receiver. We're going to get the best value for the team, but there's also free agency. So just remember that. We got tight end here. You know, I think it's a solid room. Mo Alley Cox should be brought back on another contract. I think they should get if you can keep him around this amount, I'd give him a 2 to 3 year contract. Dude's been absolutely stud for you guys. He's been great. Obviously, again, no receiver above 300 yards besides Pittman. Not a great thing, but again, he's a really solid option. We don't even need to talk about the quarterback situation. Carson Wentz, I think he's doing a very good job. Sam Ehlinger as a backup is great. I hope to God that I'm forgetting where he went, but the kid out of Washington, I'm bugging on his name right now, that y'all used to have. I'm literally bugging on it because my buddy and I were talking about my first videos that we're making. I was playing Jacob Eason. Yeah, I'm hoping that Jacob Eason is either on like the practice squad or acquirable because I think the guy has some potential. Regardless, the running back room as well. I mean, you don't even need. They have Marlon Mack behind Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines. Like, that's just an embarrassment of riches. Obviously, Marlon Mack up for a contract, but it's just, I mean, the running back room is insane. So looking at the offensive line, because we went after receivers, we went after the quarterback and everything, you know, you have Pryor, Tevy here, both up for contracts. Tackle is a legit need for this team. You got Braden Smith here, got his big contract. Good for him. Very happy to hear that. Your left tackle, like, again, Eric Fisher, brought him on this year. 1-year contract, Julian Davenport. Like, you have solid depth, but they're all up for contracts. You don't even have depth at this point. Again, free agency changes everything. So we might do three per team mocks just because we'll know the position of each team as well as y'all know the drill. I don't even need to explain it to you. You guys are smart. Guard, obviously the best guard in the NFL. Praying that y'all give him a very, very, very nice extension because he's going to continue driving up that price meter the longer he plays at a Hall of Fame level. And then, I mean, you could just go through the rest of the guys. Glowinski, obviously, probably should be brought back on a 1-year contract. If he's not, I don't think it's the end of the world. You know, then you got center here, Ryan Kelly. Of course, we just went right into Mark Glowinski. He's coming to haunt me after I just said you guys can get rid of him. He's coming back to haunt me. But you also have Kelly at center. I think that's an excellent center as well. So that's going to be the offense. Let's look at the defense really quick. Let's look at the secondary, starting out with safety here. You got Sendejo, Jaleel Adai, Blackman. Blackman's so good. He's a great player. I love Blackman coming out. Kari Willis as well. You have some good players in this backfield. Obviously, I don't think that they solidify everything you're looking for, again, up for contract this year. So you got Julian Blackman, Isaiah Rodgers, and Kari Willis. I highly doubt that that's enough. So safety, again, could be another target for us in this draft. Looking at the cornerback situation, you got Rock Ya-Sin, Xavier Rose up for a contract, Travis Carey. Look at all these corners up for a contract. It is not good. You have Rock Ya-Sin and Kenny Moore. Yeah. So in my drafts, I've either gone wide receiver or cornerback first. I love doing this because it informs me about every position, every player on the roster, who's going to be there or not. This is not good. Like, we don't have a first round pick and we're down to 2 corners. So I'm kind of hitting the panic button there. It's probably gonna be my first position that I address. I'm praying that there's some good ones there. Look at the linebacking core. Again, I wish that this site did a little bit better job of organizing this. You got Darius Leonard here. No need to discuss him. He's an absolute stud. Sky Moore. I actually really like Sky Moore. I know he's up for a contract. I think you guys can bring him back on a cheap contract again. I mean, Bobby Okereke or Okereke, if that's the way I think he says it. Solid player as well. I think that maybe one more linebacker wouldn't be a bad option. I don't. So that's another guy who I think that we could bring into the fray. Just not a fan of many guys besides Bobby Okereke, Sky Moore, and then Darius Leonard. And again, Sky Moore, A, injured, but B, is up for a contract. So that's a little bit worrisome for me. Defensive line-wise, I don't know why TDN says they need edge so badly. You literally have 3 guys who are pretty damn solid or developmentally high potential. Kwity Paye, been doing a great job this year. He was my edge one last class, and I fell in love with him. He's doing a great job there. Theo Odeingbo, I haven't seen enough about him yet, so I'm not going to comment on that, but he's a guy who I know out of Vandy was a very, very high ceiling prospect. Just hope that he reaches it. Ben Banogu, yeah, he hasn't been stellar, but he's very solid depth in my eyes. Pretty sure he was a 2nd round pick at a TCU for y'all not too long ago. It was one of the first drafts I actually watched in full. DeForest Buckner on the interior, we already know it's a freaking steal of a dude. Robert Windsor actually was a guy who I really liked out of Penn State. I did. As like a late round dude, I thought he was a kind of a steal. But, you got Grover Stewart here as well. I think that this is a pretty solid lineup. I don't get the hate on it. I could see getting maybe another defensive tackle given the amount of contracts that are up. But yeah, so that's going to be the team, guys. Let's go right into the mock. Hopefully y'all are still intrigued because I want to make sure that we understood what the hell is going on. I do it for myself, but also for you guys so you understand where I'm coming from, just so I don't have to continue explaining it in the comment section because we all want to know what's going on. Let's just pray. I'm going to turn off my sound right here because I already know I'm going to hear the ring-a-ling-a-ling the entire time. It's going to kill y'all. It's going to kill me too. Thank you, David Ojabo, for not falling to us. But something to note, guys, if you guys are new to the series, do not accept these auto trades. Just too random, and it makes things hyper complicated. We just go with what comes our way, even though, again, trades are realistic. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we are not in the best position in the world. If we could get Martin Emerson, that would be like my perfect dream, even though it's probably not going to happen. And of course, the Raiders have to ruin my dream. But at this spot, I think there's a couple routes we can go. Corner, I know that's a huge need. I'm not going to continue drafting Kyler Gordon. I draft this guy almost every single mock that's per team, and I cannot do it anymore. Ooh, Mario Goodrich is now in this. That's pretty nice. I might have to go Darion Kendrick here, guys. But I'm looking at the wide receiver room. I'm not that big of a fan of John Mechie with the ACL tear. We haven't seen him since. And again, those are injuries that can really affect a player. Man, this is not a great spot for us. Not a great spot off the get-go. Left tackle wise, you have Bernard Raymond here. I very well might take that. He's an absolute stud. I have him as a mid to early 2nd. He's been playing tackle for 2 years, guys. He played tight end 2 years ago, and he has been putting up amazing numbers. I think that he's a very solid player. He's hyper athletic. This is a team that could definitely use him. And I don't like reaching for a corner for you guys. I just don't want to reach for a corner here. You got Darion Kendrick, and I think that's solid, but this is where the free agency needs to come in. You cannot reach. Now we can go after Tariq Woolen in the next round. I know it's such a huge need. And Kobe Bryant as well. So you just got to use this draft board to our advantage. Even Seven Banks, you can use him as that safety hybrid. We got to go with the best player available. And left tackle is certainly a need. It's Bernard Raymond, or you could talk about Sean Ryan here. I love Sean Ryan. So if you guys want him, again, feel free to take him in your eyes. I'm going to go after Bernard Raymond. I think the athleticism is ridiculous. It's off the charts. And the production is there too. High, elite athlete, elite production, even against elite pass rushers. So I really like that. We'll see what happens. Obviously, this draft is going to unfold an unknown way. So let's see how it goes. Obviously, I would have loved to have been just like, okay, I'm just going to right here pull Martin Emerson. We're going to lock him into the team. Didn't happen. So we're going to see what happens here. Again, I'm not going to do these trades, even though at that point I would have pulled that trade just because, again, that value is ridiculous. Brandon Smith, somebody who honestly, if he falls to us, I'm probably going to nab him. If he does, it's going to be ridiculous. Oh my God. They actually are. Oh, that's so annoying because we need a corner as well. I know linebacker is not that big of a need, but again, Brandon Smith is ridiculous. This is just how stupid TDN is, guys. It just is. Oh, man, but we need wide receiver and we need corner. I might have to pull. I can't pull the trigger on Kyler Gordon. He's so good, though. He's so good. Yeah, I'm going to go after Tariq Woolen in the third round. The guy is just a ridiculous threat. He's 6'4", hyper athletic. Again, Kobe Bryant could be another dude who we go after. So I'm targeting those guys in the third or fourth. Just that's the way I'm looking at it. Wide receiver wise, oh, Wandale is so good. I love Wandale, and I know we need it. But it's like you have to go best player available, right? You look at the guys on this board, and I can't see anybody starting, but I can see Brandon Smith. Oh, Brandon Smith's so good, guys. He runs a 4.38. He's so good. Oh, this is the toughest decision I've ever made this early in a mock for a 7 round. Like, this is the toughest one because Brandon Smith's here and I just want to pull that trigger. We're not going to, guys. We're going to go Wandale. Again, I think the drop off after him is pretty damn huge. That's why I'm doing it. He's an excellent threat with the ball in his hands. Kind of like what we want with Paris Campbell. But again, Paris Campbell can't stay healthy. So you just got to continue moving on from him. Thank God. Do not push my boy Chad Muma down to me. I love him so much. He's one of my favorite guys in this draft. Tyler Smith as well, another one of my favorite guys. So, I mean, honestly, this is just the way it's going to be rocking with it. I'm praying to God we can get somebody good. We can get Kobe here, and we can. We get Kobe Bryant out of Cincinnati. He was the best corner this past year. So, big fan of what Kobe Bryant's been able to do with their roster there in Cincy. I think this is actually a pretty good spot for him. You know, like late third, beginning fourth. I'm not that big a fan of him, but I certainly respect who he is. Honestly, I was thinking about, like, you know what, we could see if we could restart the mock and see if we can go corner round 1. But seeing that we got Kobe Bryant there makes me really happy about it. You know, we got our positions of need with excellent value in my eyes. I think Kobe's worth a third, like a mid to early third. And then Wandale, I have him actually as a mid to early second. Same thing with Bernard. So honestly, we're doing a pretty good job so far. Now, looking at this spot, we could get after Voorhees here. He's a guy who's been a tackle, if I'm not mistaken, as well in his time at USC. He's been a pretty high-level starter. Nick Cross, another guy who I can see on this team for sure. You know, there's actually quite a few guys I'd like to take here. I mean, I'm really thinking about taking Voorhees and putting him at that guard spot if we don't bring back Lewinsky. Linebacker, again, you do have some really good guys on the board. That's just the way it is. I would be heavily considering going after a linebacker in this draft. However, now the value isn't as good. Where's the guy who I was going to draft? It's not Brian Asamoah, Jack Campbell. Yeah, he went at 143. So if he were here, that's the only other guy I would consider drafting for this team. So that's that. I can't find any interior defensive linemen. So given our position, I think that Voorhees is the right option. He's been a very high-level starter at USC. Putting him at right guard might be able to save us some money because we're going to be paying Quentin Nelson a pretty penny soon. So getting Voorhees as well as our left tackle, Bernard Raymond, I like it. So we get somebody who's experienced and somebody who is raw and hyper athletic. I think that's a good way to start out this draft. And then looking at other players who are available still, just got to get the best player available at this point. Thank you for putting Michael Clemens higher. Thank you. They had been like 280. I'm like, don't do that to my boy. We could go back to the TCU train and get some extra depth with O'Shawn Mathis. However, let's go back to the corner room and see who's available. Yeah, Tyreek Stevenson here. Interesting. It says NCAA. So Fayetteville State, Josh Williams. Never seen him. Just saw that. I was like, I've never seen that before. Sevyn Banks could play at that safety position as well. Riley Moss is in here. I do really like Riley Moss. Joey Porter Jr., Stephen Gilmore. These are my guys who I really like. Storm Duck as well. I hope to God he goes back. We actually are going to go after Sevyn Banks here. I think that his versatility as a corner safety hybrid is something that's going to be very, very sought after for this team. And it's the 5th round. I don't think the hate on him should be that much. Like, he was a first-round corner. I think that because of that, people just wanted to throw him away. He's not that terrible. He's terrible. He's just not that terrible. So that's unfortunate, but we get to take advantage of that. And I'm going to be probably looking at another guy. Like, if Velus Jones falls to us, I think that'd be a really good guy to pick up because he's an excellent return man. Holy crap. We got Velus on the board too. So Velus Jones, I'm a huge fan of what he can do after the catch. So holy shit. I did not know he's been playing for that long. He's old as hell. Get him out of here. I knew he was a redshirt senior, but I didn't know he's playing since 2016. 6-year starter. I very well might just go after Justin Shorter here. I know I did it in one of my last drafts, but again, I'm not going to be doing it in every single one. It's not, again, there are good players in this draft. Like Justin Shorter, 6'4", hyper athletic. He's like kind of the poor man's Treylon Burks. So we're going to go with that. We do need the extra receiver help. So we're filling in at positions of need with guys who I think are very good talents. And I think that's where you rock. That's where you go with this draft. We might pick up another running back in the later round just because there's some really good ones here. But I might not even do that. There's other positions I might address. At this point, O'Shawn Mathis is still on the board. I think getting him for edge depth, because again, you have 3 edges. Not a bad spot. You could get another tackle here that's developmental. I'm just not a fan of it. So I'm actually going to go with the value of edge here. Michael Clemens, I do really like him, but O'Shawn Mathis is a pretty damn good player out of TCU. I like him a lot. At this point, I'm actually going to be looking in the linebacker room. I actually like the Strahan guy. I do. He's just so light. He can play safety as well if you want him to. Ventrell Miller, another guy who's actually pretty good. Bo Calvert, represent Oaks Christian, another guy, Oaks Christian alum. But he sure as hell should never get drafted. No disrespect to my boy Bo, but yeah, he's just not NFL talent to me. Dante Stills is an interesting one. If you want to get that weird 2 edge or like defensive tackle too, that could be your guy. Just looking at the best player available, guys. I'm not really liking it. Grant Calcaterra could be actually a really good one. You can pair up SMU tight ends if you don't want to bring Mo Alley Cox back. Peyton Hendershot as well, another really good one. But honestly, the value is not very good for many of these positions. So we're actually going to go with somebody who I have a 3rd round grade on, Riley Moss out of Iowa. Again, we have all these corners coming off the board or coming off our roster. Getting one right now wouldn't be a terrible idea. And that's going to be our last pick of the draft. So we'll do a quick recap in just a second. But honestly, it turned out like I was having some big regrets at the beginning. I was like, damn, we got really screwed. But we made the most of it. That's kind of what you're supposed to do. You shouldn't have to re-record. I actually haven't re-recorded any of the mocks yet, but this was the one I was like, ugh. But we got our starting left tackle for the future. You got a starting wide receiver, high-end corner that's probably going to start for us. We got 3 corners that are arguably worth starting. And again, I think Seven's going to play more of a safety role, so that's another one. But you got Voorhees here. He's going to be a starting guard for us. Shorter, who you never know. The wide receiver core ain't great anyways. And then you got Mathis, who's a great edge depth player. So honestly, we got a draft where we could have 5 to 7 starters. Not bad. So let me know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.